That's 2 in the space of 7 days to cut the lead of Fabio Quartararo in the World Championship. But only by 5 points with Fabio Quartararo in P2. Simon, a fascinating race that we just witnessed there, with Pecco Bagnaia having to put on a bit of a defensive display in the closing stages. I
loved it because I think we saw 2 completely different machines to start with, like the Yamaha were faster in the first section in the twisties, the Ducati faster in another section, you know, down the back, acceleration areas. Then we saw 2 different riders, both at the top of their game, using 2 different rear tyres, you know. So early on, the soft rear of Pecco's was stronger, and late on, then Fabio came back. But they ended up crossing the line 0.3 of a second different. It was fantastic. It was a bit of a high-speed chess match. I really enjoyed it.
Fabio Quartararo opted for the medium rear tyre, Pecco Bagnaia the soft, and it was a wonderful start for Pecco Bagnaia. He was helped on the very first lap by his teammate Jack Miller. That was quite a key moment as Miller went to pass Fabio Quartararo, and that bought Bagnaia some time initially.
Yes, but I think they were on another level anyway, for those same reasons I was just saying. With the Ducati and Pecco in those early laps, I don't believe Fabio was going to go with them anyway. And Fabio, I think, alluded to that in Parc Ferme. But he knew, and team manager Maio Miragali knew, that from 10 laps in, the soft should drop and Fabio should march back.
If we watch here, this is just a replay of the start. Keep an eye on Jack Miller. This is the moment where he lumps it up the inside of Fabio Quartararo. This is a little bit later on. There was also a little mistake from Miller and Quartararo a couple of laps further down the line when they were catching Pecco. But ultimately, again, perhaps that wouldn't have made too much of a difference. Ultimately, Quartararo definitely lost a good 7/8 tenths as a result of that.
Yeah, the really fast corner at the end of the back straight, Pecco ran off, and I think anyone that's ridden a dirt bike or any motorcycle, when you're chasing someone, when someone runs off in front of you, if you look at them, you go there. And I think that's what happened to Fabio. But, and you're right, if you'd not managed to lose a little bit there, those 0.3 might have been side by side, or, but I think Pecco was going to be very difficult to pass, and even Fabio alluded to how fantastic his last lap was like amazing. He was basically giving him the, you know.
One rider that we will definitely be bigging up shortly as well is Enea Bastianini. Quite an incredible performance from him, 12th to 3rd. The rookie on a 2-year-old Ducati has managed to get himself his first podium of 2021. I think we can cross over now to Matt Burt, who is with a very happy Enea Bastianini here at home. Over to you, Matt.
Yeah, thanks very much, Steve. Naya, you took your first ever your Grand Prix victory here in Misano in 2015, your home Grand Prix. You've been on the podium before here in Moto2 as well, but this must top the lot. A MotoGP podium for the first time in front of your home crowd. Such a special feeling today.
Yeah, first podium in MotoGP is very special. You know, after many time to close the gap from the leading group, it stayed fantastic. Today, the feel with the bike was really nice, and it stayed possible for me to push a lot, especially in the middle of the race. And after, when I overtake Jack and I've seen in the table third place, I was really happy. And at the end, the last 6 laps, I have tried to close the gap also with Pecco and Fabio, but I have did some drop at the front tire because I have pushed a lot in the middle. But I think inside me, okay, now third place is okay. With Ducati, it's fantastic. MotoGP, you know, when you arrive in MotoGP, it's fantastic.
How confident were you before the race that you could fight for the podium? We saw you have a great ride last weekend in Aragon to the top 6, but it's always difficult to come through in a MotoGP race. But starting from 12th, the 4th row, you gave yourself a lot of work to do in qualifying. So how confident were you beforehand that you could fight your way through and fight for the podium?
Yes, I was confident to do very nice race, but not for the podium because I'm start from the 12th place and it stay really difficult. But after when I was in 6th place and after 5, I think okay, I think it's my day, and after it's arrive the podium.
And what was it like coming through the pack like that, passing the Espargaro brothers, passing the Suzukis, passing Marc Marquez, passing Jack Miller? I mean, you passed so many guys with so much more experience than you. I mean, how cool was that?
Yeah, very cool. Also overtake Marquez, the boss of the MotoGP. He stay fantastic and something special here in Misano, no?
Not only have you got the podium in there, but you also set the fastest lap of the race, and at one time you were doing an incredible pace.
Yeah, I think
3 or 4, 1:32.2.
Yes,
incredible. You must have thought at that time that you were going to catch those two guys in front of you.
When I see this time, I did okay. I can win, but after my pace was a little bit more slow, impossible to win.
And just talk us through how difficult it is to be competitive in MotoGP. You're on a 2019 Ducati. We've seen the current Ducati, the GP21's made huge steps forward, particularly in turning. But where do you feel today that your bike was particularly strong, even though you seem to have a technical disadvantage?
Yes, with a 19 bike, I can be fast in some track, in some race, and today is one of these. And I'm not really fast in the middle of the corner, in the slow corner, but I can brake very later, respect some riders, and also I have a good traction with the soft in the rear in this race.
Congratulations on your first MotoGP podium in front of your home crowd, the fastest lap of the race as well. Enjoy the celebrations in Rimini tonight.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Matt. What a star Enea Bastianini is. We see one fantastic rookie in Jorge Martin on the Pramac Ducati, but that's 2021 machinery Martin's on. This was an epic ride, and Matt makes a good point. It's the calibre of riders that he's passed on his way to getting that podium as well.
What a great kid, you know. I think most of the people in the paddock have seen him, like I said, in Silverstone, riding the wheels off that bike and getting frustrated, you know, having a few falls, trying, because he knows he can do it, he knows he's good. The thing for me is I'm so happy for him that today he's done that and everyone will take him more seriously. Hopefully Ducati, you know, everyone on the grid, the fans, because he's shown what sort of talent he is. I don't expect him to go somewhere else and do the same. I think his Misano is his, like Donington was for me. You can turn up there and do something special every time. It's going to be back to being hard when we leave here, but he's shown what he can do on a bike not as good as guys he was racing against. He's got the older model chassis, exhaust, swing arm, the device, you know, the auto device hasn't got the fairings that the other guys have got. All those steps in the last 2 years, he's got none of them, and he just did that. It's awesome.
You can see here, this is the moment he passed Marc Marquez. Marc ends up finishing in 4th place, and it looked like at the end of the race he was out of puff as well. He really had to work hard for that.
So who? Enea?
Marc.
Oh,
Marquez.
Marc. I think Marc did an awesome job today. I didn't even expect him to do that, you know, because the Hondas weren't strong here. I mean, Pole brought it home well as well, only a few spots back. I think Marc did everything he could today. It was a good ride, and I think they'll go away quite happy with it, considering even Puig alluded to it's going to be a hard day. And for Marc to get 4th, I think, top job.
Well, Pecco Bagnaia has been brilliant in the last week, and to try and limit the damage, Fabio Quartararo has had a great day. A fantastic 2nd place for the World Championship leader, and he's down with Matt now.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve. When Fabio goes to bed tonight, he will be able to sleep well, knowing that he tried absolutely everything to win that race in Misano. Fabio, it was a difficult race. You always knew it was going to be difficult with so many Ducatis around you, particularly at the start. But how was it in those first few laps?
Yeah, honestly, I thought I was racing against the Ducatis today. In the beginning with Jack, then with Martin. I struggled a lot to have a clear track. Then to overtake Jack was impossible, and I made it in a place that was, I didn't even expect that. But yeah, I give my everything. I catch Pecco in the last lap, but you know, to arrive to Pecco was one thing. Then to overtake him is really difficult. And yeah, let's see what we can do on Misano too. That I think will be fun. But yeah, it was super nice. I think today I take maybe too much risk in the race. I was thinking zero about the championship, but I think was one of my funniest race I ever did.
You chose the medium rear tyre, which obviously worked for you very, very well in the second half of the race. Maya Marigali told Simon after the race that Yamaha expected the soft rear tyre to drop quite a lot in the last 10 laps. So did the race kind of pan out as you expected?
Well, the soft, to be honest, was an option also for us, but my feeling were better with the medium. But what Pecco did in the first laps, you know, the soft, you are able to do it more easy. And he made a big gap in the beginning, and to recover this was so difficult. But yeah, I've made my maximum, and I think, like you said before, I can go to sleep quite happy. And because I try my everything, and you know, when I saw that I was arriving to Pecco, because he was 3 seconds clear, and my pace was pretty strong, and yeah, I was so close, and we are missing a little bit of power to make a good overtake. But I mean, I'm super happy, and Pecco in Sector 3 was on another level all the weekend, and I think that he was strong, and I will give another try in Misano too.
If you had been close enough on the last lap, I'm sure you'd worked out in your mind where you perhaps were going to make the attack. Where do you feel that you were stronger, perhaps, if you were close enough to try and overtake him on the last lap?
Let's say where I was stronger was Sector 4 and Sector 1. But there was many places where I was struggling to overtake, because then when I arrived in Sector 1, he was pulling up in the straight between 6 and 8. Then in the straight he was pulling from 10 to 11, and then 11, 12, 13 he was much stronger than me, and he made his fastest Sector 3 in the last lap, and me, I was already on the limit since mid-race, and I couldn't do nothing, and at the end losing only 5 points in the championship is quite a good operation today.
Like you say, when you are 3 seconds behind and it looks like he's quite comfortable and confident, you've got the championship to think about. At one point when you're that far back, did you think, okay, time just to take 20 points, second place? I mean, how difficult was it not to think about the championship? I mean, I guess you're lost in the moment, but did it ever even enter your head for 1 second?
I didn't think 1 second about the championship. And when I finished the race, I say, wow, I think that today I risk a little bit too much. Because when I passed the checkered flag, you can't imagine, okay, I was a little bit disappointed to don't at least give a try. But you can imagine how happy I was, because I was really on the limit today, and I think we achieved a great race.
Just a quick word on Austin, a track that sometimes has been difficult in the past for the Yamaha. What are your thoughts about going to Texas in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, I mean, we have 48-point advantage, and in the last 4 races, so I'm taking it like this one. I had a goal to don't think about the championship until here, but I will keep going. I think that is quite nice for me to have this feeling, you know, of give it everything. My parents were here. I think my mom nearly had a heart attack. My dad, for sure, enjoyed a lot. He told me a few words that make me really happy after the race. And
what did he say to you?
Yeah, that I really did a race of a champion today. That you know, I was not thinking about the championship, and I think this example, I take it a lot from Mark when I was in Thailand 2019, in something that I have in my head since beginning of the year, that he was with me all the race in Thailand. I give a try in the last corner, he try again. So no matter if you play the championship or not, I want to win. And today was this mentality.
I think your dad's assessment post-race was pretty accurate to summarise that race, Fabio. Fantastic to watch you, a great battle with Pecco. You might not know this as well, but a bit of history for you today. You're now the most successful Frenchman in terms of podiums in the Premier class in history. You're on 19, you've moved ahead of Christian Saron, so a good day all round. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thank you to Fabio as well. A brilliant ride, a world champion's ride. Every single time Fabio's had a bad day at the office, Simon, he's bounced back with a podium at the following Grand Prix. And that approach that he's taken, where he doesn't think about the championship, is probably a wise one, based on the fact that when he has in the past thought about things too much, it's got into his head.
I've just got to say what I was thinking while I was watching him and thinking about what he's done this year. The kid is fantastic. You know, his consistency, his hunger, his natural ability, how he can turn up to every race and put in a good fight, a really good fight, you know, unless there's a problem. About what he said about throwing everything at every race, I've never fought for a world championship, you know, but I believe I know what he means. When you don't give everything, you walk away with not happy with yourself, a very hollow feeling. I've done it once or twice where I thought I was being wise, and this is extreme, but there's a little bit of hate for yourself, you know. And I think these guys at this level, when they believe they can do it, they've got to go for it. You know, it's the only way that they're going to walk away feeling content with themselves.
Okay, let's go and hear now from the race winner then. It's been a fantastic 7 days for Pecco Bagnaia. He wins here at home in Misano. Over to you, Matt.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve. I'm with an ecstatic Pecco Bagnaia for the second time in 7 days. Pecco, we knew you could handle the pressure last weekend in Aragon. To take your first MotoGP victory, you had to ride so hard again to beat Fabio in another fantastic race for the fans watching at home. How special does this one taste, though? An Italian rider on an Italian bike winning in Italy in an Italian race. Does it get any better than that, really?
To me, it means a lot. I'm very happy about it. And in front of this crowd is always special. In this track is always special, so I'm very happy for this. We worked it again perfectly. This time I wasn't so confident with... I was so confident, but I was so not sure about the rear tire, because I was knowing that the medium was okay, but the soft maybe can have a better initial grip, and we tried it. And in the first part of the race, I pushed like hell and opened a gap. That Fabio in the last part of the race with the medium was recovering, so it wasn't easy. And in the last lap, I did my best sector 3. I pushed it a lot, and I did again 32.5, so it was very good. Our bike is working perfectly in all the circuits, so we are doing a great step in front every time. And again, to win here means a lot to us. It's already the 5th victory of Ducati this year. And we need more, and we want more. So next year, I think that our bike will be very competitive with the information that we are giving.
With the soft rear tyre, you knew it was vital to try and, like you said, push like hell in those first few laps to break away and make it a lead. It looked like you made the absolute perfect start, which really helped you.
It was incredible, the start. Already when I started just a little after is later, no? No.
Yes. Yeah.
After the red light was off, so it was perfect, a perfect start. So I never did a start like this. When I started, I was thinking, I don't know, maybe it can be a jump start, but I was sure that wasn't, because I was so perfect. And then I pushed it, and already in the first lap I passed with 1+0, so it was already incredible. And I just tried to let constant with this pace. Was not easy for the rear tire, but was to be very constant like this was very important for us, because the rear tire was dropping. So.
Was the drop from the soft rear tyre as you expected? Was it worse or a little bit better? And just how nervous were those last 2 or 3 laps? Because Fabio was coming so...
It was a bit more, because the pace I was expecting was a bit higher. Like this was very difficult, but we managed well everything. So, like I said, last lap to do 32.5 was incredible. Last year already when we're remaining 7 laps, I did 33.0. So the pace today was very strong.
And in terms of the championship, I mean, obviously, unfortunately, you only took 5 points out of Fabio, but I know you're going to fight to the end, and you go to Austin now. I mean, you must be so full of confidence, full of self-belief, motivation super high. I mean, going for 3 successive wins now in 2021, your thoughts going to Austin and the championship in general?
For sure, gave to me a lot of motivation more.
He's just watching, actually, Pecco. Quite a dramatic conclusion to the FIM NL Moto2 World Cup here.
Last lap. È stato Egert che l'ha preso.
So it looks like
Ha
Egert is
vinto
going to be
Egert
the
il
champion.
campionato così. So,
That's okay, no problem.
A lot of motivation more, and now we go to Austin. We gained 5 points to Fabio, are not a lot, but it's okay like this. It's okay. We lose a lot of points before. Now we are just to concentrate on gaining every time points and to be always at the top. So let's see what will happen in Austin. I would like to be competitive like here, there. It's not an easy track, but for our bike it's okay, and also for me. So let's see.
Last weekend it was difficult to celebrate in Aragon, but you only live 10 kilometres away here, so surely there's going to be a big party tonight, isn't there, with all the academy guys?
I don't know. I don't, because we have the test in Tuesday, so I have to decide what is better. I think the tests are better, but tonight we will have a nice dinner with all the team, and I would like to enjoy with them because it's something that we are missing, because every time we have to go back home very soon, so this time I would like to enjoy more.
Well, today, Pecco, it felt like a bit of Pecco payback after the disappointment of Misano here last year when you were leading, the disappointment of Mugello this year. Finally, that special feeling of winning for Ducati in Italy. Hope you enjoy the celebrations. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Matt. Brilliant job there from Pecco. So cool and calm in his responses to all the questions asked to him there by Matt, but just a class act in general. A fantastic shot. He had to win the race today in a very different way, completely separate and different to the way he won in Aragon last week. There wasn't really a big drop in tyre for him. It was just constant pressure from Marc Marquez. This was very different today.
Really. The thing is, Ducati test here a lot. I think they've got a lot of data in that. The Pecco is stunning here, you know, like that sector 3 back straight. The other Ducati guys can't match what he does. It's something special. Jack's mentioned it a few times. He's managed to get closer. He's special here. The thing that I'd like to finish on and compare, we're looking at 2 guys fighting for the World Championship. And the thing about Fabio is doing such a good job doing all his homework. He's turned up here and fought for the win again. You know, he's doing an amazing job at it. Looking at Pecco's 1 year less experience and he's fighting at the front. He's doing amazing. He's going to be like Fabio next year, you know, 1 more year's experience, more consistent. And I just think we're seeing Pecco flower into what we're going to see, much like Fabio's progress.
Just before we go, there's just a couple more things that I want to just go across. First of all, Jack Miller. Another disappointing outcome, I suppose, for Jack from the front row, and I'm sure he was hoping for so much more. Quite clearly ran into some trouble around the mid part of the race.
Yeah, and, I don't know, because we haven't spoken to the team, but I saw the same as you. The times dropped, and you mentioned it on the commentary, and it is a little bit of a pattern, isn't it? You know, I hope they can figure it out, you know, because he's got the speed, you know, awesome.
And lastly, the Suzuki's. Alex Rins crashed out, unfortunately, today whilst in fourth place. Joan Mir was demoted a place last minute because of going into the green on the last lap. But ultimately, they just found it so difficult from where they were on the grid. Joan actually got into a really good rhythm, as he always does, at the end of the race. But it's just not enough when you're qualifying in 9th and 11th.
Suzuki are going to be happy to leave here. This was a bit of a nightmare weekend, you know. They just haven't managed to fulfill their potential at all, because they were fast enough to be fighting for the podium, sure, and it just hasn't happened. Joan's nightmare in qualifying yesterday. Alex was awesome potential and throws it down the road. It's really disappointing. I think the biggest thing is they're too far back on the grid as usual, and this track is a nightmare to pass, and when you haven't got the power, you know, your device hasn't worked out. I think it's just was too difficult for them to get past. Alex probably was taking some risks to do it, and it didn't end well. Juan just didn't go forward enough because of that, difficult to pass.
Yeah, it's looking like Juan Mir's championship charge is over here, I'm afraid, with 4 races to go. That's all we've got time for. Simon, thank you, as ever, for all of your views, and we'll be back in Austin soon enough. That's where we're headed from here in Misano. Of course, we'll be back here on the Italian coast in just over a month's time. But for now, enjoy the highlights, and we hope you've enjoyed this weekend here in Misano.
Lights out. Good start from Miller in second. Good start also from Martin. Quattararo is trying to challenge, but it will be the Bologna bullet surely. Just about Pecco with the lead into turn 1. Quattararo up to second. That was Jack Miller firing his Ducati up the inside of Fabio Quattararo. Oh, he's gone down. Oh no, Ducati were hoping he was going to hang in there. Here it comes, Bastianini up the inside of Marquez into turn 8, and he's through. Beautiful, that was coming. You can see Quattararo lined it up through 4 and 5. Something has just happened in sector 1. It's Rins.
Alex Rins. Deary me, how many times have we seen that sorry sight in 2021?
Here comes Bastianini again. Oh, he's coming from a long, long way back on Jack Miller, and he's made it through. The checkered flag comes out. It's back-to-back wins for the Ducati team and Pecco Bagnaia.
Fabio Quattararo awesome in second. Bastianini, third place, his first podium in the MotoGP World Championship.